Thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Alex, if you don't know who I am.
And I'm Joel.
And this is another episode of Leadership Lean In, where we come beam straight into your lounge, to your phone.
Glory, glory.
And this is the setting where we talk about what's going on with Redeemer, what we're thinking about Redeemer, what's coming up, and etc. So yeah, we love doing these, and thanks so much for giving it your time.
Yeah.
So Joel, you've been on holiday this week.
I have.
Nice time?
Nice time. Nice family time. Doing some reading, as in not me personally, unfortunately. Although I did a bit, but more Roald Dahl, kids reading. George's Marvelous Medicine, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda,
Great
James
books.
and the Giant Peach,
Great
whatever all this. Yeah, it's been nice. And yesterday I was out in the garden, so I'm a little bit
We can see.
red.
Is there glow?
It's
I
going to
hope
go
there's a
brown.
glow coming.
I'm hoping the camera makes it look more brown than red, but where I'm sitting, it's a little bit
I think it's
red.
probably the opposite.
So yeah, no, it's been nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the sunshine. Did you enjoy the sun yesterday?
I did enjoy the sun, and the biggest thing that I am taking out of this crisis, slight bit of sarcasm, is that lunchtime barbecues are the way to go. Okay, so my new normal: don't waste your crisis, have a lunchtime barbecue. It's my big tip.
Yeah.
And Joel doesn't want me to say this, but I'm going to say anyway. I called Joel the other day on Zoom, and it looked like he was growing a beard, and I was very, very pleased because I've been trying to persuade him that it's the best thing to do for a while because I know, and beards look fantastic. But it wasn't.
No.
It was.
I mean, sanding our living room floor, and so it was filled with dust. It was a slight stubble filled with dirt and dust.
Very dark shadow.
Yeah.
But
So it's not happening.
if you want it to happen,
No.
all you've got to do is okay, I think if we need 50, you think 100? Okay, I think 50, but
I think Rachel's opinion is stronger than other
stronger than
people's
50, but
opinions.
100.
She can't withstand 100.
She can't
people's
withstand
opinions.
100, you know. She's got character, but she can't stand
Rachel, if you're watching,
yeah.
you can have your say.
You can have your say. You can message, you can counter message, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yours can count for at least 15 messages the other way. Okay. So just message in, and if you get to a certain number, then you'll see Joel here with a big bushy ginger beard.
I'd rather see Rodney with a big beard.
Come on, if you want to see Rodney with a beard, message in.
Yeah, I think so.
With Rodney, you only need 50. 50 messages to say you want Rodney to have a beard,
Yeah.
and he's going for it.
Oh, for sure.
So, okay. So on to some other stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't it great? Week 2 of Redeemer.
Yeah. It's all
I feel
go.
like we're doing well.
Yeah, so nice to see Pete and Hayley, see Jake and Kira. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving my mornings. It was nice. I got to, because I've been away, I didn't actually know, I knew kind of who was doing what, but hadn't seen any of it or had any sneak previews. So it was nice to sit there. We had church before church with our Redeemer
Great.
planting group. It was really nice to see them. And then in we go. Nice, yeah, it was great. I had a great morning. And I'm just loving the Pioneers. What are you thinking
Well, I think about the Pioneers.
about Pioneers?
I'm really enjoying the reading plan. I hope you're engaging with that. That's such an important thing because I think coming through this crisis, it just allows us to reform rhythms in our lives, and many of us will have struggled to read the Bible on a regular basis, but it's so important for followers of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for your life, for your family, and the impact that you have, all the people that you engage with, friends, workplace, I get the people in your college, whatever. And so I just think it's such a key thing to do. So please engage with that, engage with the videos. I reckon it takes less than 5 minutes to read half a chapter of Acts easily. And then maybe another 3 to 5 minutes as an optional extra to watch these videos, which are just great, by the way. The leadership team are doing them. They are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Particularly I saw, there was the last couple I saw, like Kath and Val did the last 2 this last week, and just did such a great job. So,
and if you're someone who struggles to read the Bible, it's hard. Like they're just so accessible. Those videos, yeah, Val, Kath, Rodney and Steve, Alex, they're just really accessible, really easy to listen to. Just helps explain what it's talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, do engage with it.
So those are all on, hopefully she knows by now, but on Instagram and Facebook. Even if you don't like the things like Instagram and Facebook, almost all of you can get those things on your phone, or you can even do that on, you don't have a phone or anything to get those accounts. And we've sent out also the links directly to them on the last news that went out this last Friday. So check that in your emails. We've tried to make it as accessible as possible. We've even put together a really short guide on how to access those things for those of you that aren't used to it. If you get Instagram, even if you don't follow anyone else and it's a private account that no one else can see,
Follow us.
and it's just you tune in to what's going on. It will really help you. So I'd really encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
And just a little bit on the pioneers in terms of what we're doing on Sundays.
Yeah.
So usually we have a bit more time to think through what are we going to be teaching on, why are we doing it, what we want to draw out of it, etc. But we just kind of got thrown into this, and so we just thought, let's just start this series, The Pioneers. We're starting Redeemer. Let's pick up in Luke from where we left off when we were kind of building up to this plant. You can check that out on our website if you've not seen it. The series Redeemer is coming in Luke 1 and 2. But so we started with this theme, the pioneers, which is great. We want to carve out something. We don't want to settle for the status quo. We want to pioneer a new normal for our lives, for Worthing, for our culture. That's why we want to start this church, or why we have started this church. But this theme, the last few weeks that I've been preparing it and delivering it, of a revolution, has really kind of stirred me to think. It links in with the pioneers, but it's slightly more edgy, slightly more extreme, if I can say that. It's like we actually need a substantial change as a culture, as a society. And I think many of us, our lives, we need a revolution, an internal and external revolution. And so that started, I hope you noticed the last couple of weeks, it's been quite apparent that started coming up. And so let's just engage with that theme together. Vive the revolution. That's kind of revolution that it's not, we didn't start, okay? Our town needs a revolution, we need a revolution, but the revolutionary God started the revolution when he died on the cross and rose from the grave. And we're just joining late in the day the revolution. It's like Worthing hasn't heard about the revolution that's already happened in world history. It's not like we're going to be we're going to start a revolution. We're just trying to catch up with the revolutionary God who's pioneered something well ahead of us. So I'm really excited about that thing and wants to plug into that.
And we get to join in this story, right, of who that God has been writing over all these years, and we want to play our part. So we want to be pioneers, we want to be revolutionaries. And so I thought, if I may say so, you've done a very good job.
Thanks.
Over the last couple of weeks, and I just love the fact, like Alex said, if you saw it yesterday, just that God isn't using, when we read our Bibles, not John the Baptist isn't some high up, prestigious, wealthy guy who's got it all, who we maybe expect God to use, but he's he's
not a natural influencer.
He's some madman. He hasn't got a million followers on Instagram. No, he's some strange guy who, when we read our little kids' Bible, Evelyn and Caleb say, why is this man, why is he wearing itchy clothes, why is he wearing locusts and eating
wearing locusts?
Why is he eating locusts?
He's really completely naked. He's just covered in locusts.
I mean, if he wanted to go one step further in the madman look, that's what he needed. But I love the fact, we sit, and then when we read our, in Acts, we're reading about these disciples who aren't some like big hotshots, but they're just this kind of ordinary people with all their faults, and that's the same as us, and God used them, God can use us. And so I'm looking forward to, as we go further in Acts and we go further in our Sunday mornings, getting more into that mindset of what it means to be a revolutionary.
Nobody's telling everybody about somebody, right? That's what John the Baptist is. And a complete nobody in his culture, in his time, and yet he's made it his mission to tell everyone about someone that matters. We'll see that this coming week when that someone arrives on the scene. But that's what the first followers of Jesus were doing all the time, telling everyone about someone. And that's who we want to be. We don't want it to be about us. It's not about Redeemer. It's about Jesus and people in Worthing coming to know Jesus. Which actually
links nicely in with.
I think that's what I was going to say. What were you going to talk about though? Because
everyone telling someone about somebody about someone.
That's not what I was.
No, you want to talk about. You've literally primed. You've set yourself up so beautifully for it.
Well, you go, and then I'll say what.
Okay. So what was your phrase from John the Baptist phrase? A nobody
telling everybody about somebody.
And so that's what we want to be at Redeemer. So we want to be people who are telling nobodies who are telling everybody about somebody. And so for Alex and I, that means we want to talk to our friends, our families about somebody who is Jesus. If we're going to talk to them about someone, is this someone? And so that could look different for me, to Alex, for you guys. That could be on social media. So if you're on Instagram sharing Redeemer.Worthing, what we're doing what you're doing on a Sunday, what's coming up, sharing that on your stories. It could be on Facebook, it could be sending text, it could be talking to your friends on the phone or on Zoom or over the fence to your neighbour. But we want to be telling people about Jesus. We want to be telling people about us as a church and what we're doing and how much we love Worthing and we love people, and we want to see people come to know Jesus. Right? That's why we planted this church, because we want to be we want to see this town transformed and people who don't know Jesus come close to Jesus. And so we'd love you to invite people. This, like Alex spoke over the last couple of weeks, there's never been an easier time to invite someone to church. There's never been an easier time now. You can send them our YouTube link. You can send them our our Instagram stuff, so they can engage with that, see what's going on. We'd love you to invite someone this Sunday to look at us online.
So we're starting this. So should we start it now? We're going to start. We're going to push for a brand new initiative. It's a revolutionary act.
Revolutionary act. No one has ever thought of this before.
Yeah, we're literally pioneering something here. Okay, I don't think that's quite true, but invite someone to church. Who'd have thought? But we would love everyone to invite someone. Okay, so we're nobody's telling everyone about a somebody. We would like every single one of us to invite someone to come to church. So whether that is just natural, your bread and butter, you absolutely love it. You'd be like 10 friends on a normal Sunday if we were meeting like physically for a Redeemer. Or whether that's the last thing on your mind, whether you're so busy, maybe you don't have many friends who don't know Jesus, maybe you're just petrified of the idea of even unveiling that you're a follower of Jesus. Whatever it happens to be, this is as, I guess, as small a step as we can make it. And I think there's this moment where for every single one of us to take a step forward, and that will look different for every single one of us. But as we've been reading in Acts, these believers full of the Holy Spirit, there was just a gear change moment in them when they went from kind of average Joe guys hanging out with Jesus, not just hanging out with me or hanging out with Joel, hanging out with Jesus, okay? But they were you read through the accounts of Jesus' life, they were pretty average Joe guys. And yet suddenly the Holy Spirit rushes in, like we've been reading this week and hearing through the videos, and gear change moment. These guys they've got boldness. There's a boldness, and so you can cultivate boldness in your life 1 inch at a time, one step at a time. And actually you can start by inviting invite someone. So we want every single one of us to invite someone this Sunday, next Sunday. So we're going to be talking about that in our groups, talking about that on Sundays. Big, hairy, audacious initiative.
Can I quickly share something about that?
Love that.
So I shared on some of my uni friends, we've got a WhatsApp group and we keep in touch with each other every so often. And so a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I shared on our WhatsApp, we just had a Zoom call to see how everyone was doing. And I shared on our WhatsApp, our Redeem. I said, if you want to see this face a bit more, check out this YouTube channel because I'm on it. And I thought you're going to entice them to click, right? It's clickbait.
I mean, if you had a beard, it'd be
it'd be better. And so I got more views, but a few of them did check it out, and so they looked at it and none of them go to church, none of them are already interested in that. And then so I spoke to one in the week again, and he said, "Oh yeah, I saw you." And just before recording this, I had another opportunity. I was speaking to one of them again, and we had like a conversation about what he saw, and it's just starting conversation. He's not said, "I need Jesus. I'm in. I'm all in. Where's Redeemer? I'm moving to Worthing." But it started a conversation. And it's just been really, so just do it.
Do it with your colleagues, do it with your friends. I mean, do it with whoever you've got a relationship with. I think that's the key. But if you've got a relationship with people in Worthing, start there, because we want to have an impact in this town. But go for your friends, go for your family, people who you work with, colleagues. I think this is a time when people have got questions, when people are searching for something deeper, something more substantial and meaningful. Let's use that opportunity to serve them really well by inviting them. And so just to say, linked in with that, is we're really trying to think through carefully what Sunday mornings are all about for us. So the way that we're seeing them at the moment is particularly because we've gone online, although I think for Redeemer we were starting to think this way anyway, even about physical Sundays, is it's the front door of people engaging with us as a church. Okay, the front door. So especially because that's online, maybe that'd be more so our website as well. But at the moment, that's our website. It's what we're doing on YouTube, like particularly Sundays. That's what we want people to invite people to. And so we're really doing that with people that don't know Jesus in mind, or we're trying to do that. We've got a lot to learn. We've got a lot to learn. We recognise that about ourselves. We get it wrong all the time, but we're learning. But we really want that to be an environment where we're serving people that don't know Jesus well. That's a biblical principle about when the church gathers together. But I think what that's meaning is, I guess, a couple of things. It's meaning that we're having to find other contexts to do what we might have done in previous churches on Sunday mornings, right? So what are those things? Because there's what are some of the things that we think are vital for a healthy church, but that we don't necessarily think they all have to be done in the same moment, which I think is often where we trip up. So
we want to pray together as a church. We want to sing together. We've already started we want to read the Bible together, so we do that on Sunday, but we've also got our reading plan. So there's all these things, and we're trying to balance, like Alex said, our Sunday, and then who that's for, and what we're trying to do there, balanced with all these other things that we want to do.
Yeah. So the language we're going to start using, not on our Sunday, obviously, but is that we want our Sundays to be deep and wide. Okay, so we want to be a church that unchurched people love to attend. We really like that phrase. A church that unchurched people love to attend. So we're not saying that it's going to be just wide. Okay, wide means that we want it to be engageable, accessible for everyone. Whether you've never been to a church before, whether you're a die-hard, follower of Jesus, we want it to be accessible for every single person. Where maybe you're from a different culture, obviously a different language would be a barrier, but we're really trying to think all of that through. We hope that's noticeable, but we're trying to do that more and more and more. But we also want it to be deep. We want those people who can access it to actually go somewhere. We want them to meet the revolutionary God. Right? We don't just want them to meet us. So that is in the way that we, I guess, the way that we pray, the way that we sing, the way that we look at the Bible. So we hope, although we're trying to keep things punchy, although we're really trying to watch our language and our jargon, we're really trying to strip out things. So you might think, they're really explaining that a lot, or they could just use this one word that's used a lot in the Bible for this thing, but they use a whole sentence to explain it. We're doing that not just to wind you up. We're doing that for people that don't know Jesus, people that aren't used to coming to church. And so we want you to engage with that. We want you to love that. We want you to embrace that and think, no, this is who we are as a church. We want to be a church that unchurched people love to attend. We want to take Jesus to the center of our culture. So deep and wide, that's what we're going for. But that means that we need contexts to go deeper still. Okay, so there's going to be a limit. If I don't know if this is the right way to phrase it, really, but we'll figure out as we're talking. There's a limit to our depth. Okay, when you've got
2 meters.
Less than an hour, 2 meters. I think 3. But we've got less than an hour. We're trying to do 50 minutes, 55 minutes, something like that, because we think length is important, especially in this kind of virtual context. Really important. So there's a limit to how much we can dig into the scriptures, how much we can go on singing. Clearly there's stuff that we can't do. Things like having contributions from people that actually we decided that isn't, like, even if we were able to do that in some way virtually, that's not the moment to be hearing from God about the direction of the church, or just different things like that. But it's vital for a healthy church that we're able to exercise spiritual gifts, that we hear from God for our direction, that we go deeper in the word, deeper in prayer, deeper in the things of the Spirit. So we are looking to provide other contexts. So let's just quick fire round. What are the contexts that we are kind of putting out there to go deep?
So daily reading plan. We're engaging with that. Get on top of it with our groups. Engage with that. But starting a week on Wednesday, we are going to be on a Wednesday 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be worshipping together via Zoom.
Can't wait.
And so it's just an opportunity for us. How long are we doing? 40 minutes or
something like that? I think we'll kind of see
kind of time. And it's just a time for us as a church, led by one per couple, a group in their home, leading the rest of us just to go deeper to engage, to spend some time. You know, we don't have to rush from song to song, but we're going to just spend some time worshiping, hearing God, praying.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I'd love you to tune in that a week on Wednesday. We'll send out the details of how to plug into that.
Yeah.
And it's partly for us to go deeper in our worship. It's also for us to train ourselves in how to worship. And so we've put it at 4 p.m. because you might be working at home and be able to clock off early. We didn't want to go into another evening. It also might be that you've just finished homeschooling with the kids. I don't know what time you finished that. Maybe you finished that more like 10 a.m. than 3 p.m. when you're, you pulled enough hair out. But when you've clocked off with that, you might think, let's engage with this together. It's not going to be geared towards young children, but it'd be great for young children to be involved. It's going to be on Zoom, so everyone will be muted, because otherwise you can imagine the cacophony of the din and the
time lag.
Yeah. But we're all going to engage together, and it's going to be great.
Get on your big screen, turn the volume up.
And the early church in Acts 2, the end of the chapter, they met together in the temple and in homes to worship. They worship with glad and grateful hearts, praising God, it says. And so we want to praise God. We want to have a kind of setting where we go deep in worship together. We've got digging deeper, going deeper in scripture, going through Leviticus, currently part 4 coming out this week, about the last few sacrifices. Really encourage you to engage with that. And this Friday, prayer is coming your way. Woo! We're going to be spending time 7:30 till 8 to pray together. So again, that's going to be on Zoom. Yeah. It's going to be led by, my different sections might be led by different people. Yeah. And there's going to be a kind of a short, sharp, punchy half an hour to pray for our town. Pray for half hour. There's half an hour. You just never know with these things, right? You never know. But we have half hour. And so we're going to be praying for various things, praying for our town, praying for the nations, praying for NHS, all these kind of things that we want to come before God about, praying for Redeemer. So if you've got on monthly news, our first monthly news as being Redeemer, you should have got that in your inbox on Friday. Check that out. That's got the direct link or access code or whatever for the Zoom meeting. And let's just pack that out. I want to see 50, 70, 80 screens. So let's just go all out for that. It should be a really great time. Half an hour. You still got your Friday evening. Just don't expect these things to be set in stone. Okay, so we're going for 7:30 on, like, maybe we'll do every other Friday or every third Friday or something for prayer. We're going to do every week Wednesday at 4. But don't expect these things to be set. This is a fluid time. But it may be worth saying, actually, how can people engage with some of this stuff? Because and there might even be a few other things that we start in the coming weeks and months, depending on what we decide to do. But it's a lot. People might feel overwhelmed, a bit bombarded. 20 things: reading plan, prayer, Bible study, Word Sundays, groups. Yeah, because we want people to be connected into it. So we're in lockdown, we're in quarantine, but we do want to be connected. And so we're just providing different ways of you being connected. So there are some things that you might look at this kind of list of things that we're doing, or like our weekly kind of plan itinerary, and think, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I'm still working full time. I've got kids at home. I can't do all this. Don't panic. You're feeling weary. Don't panic. We feel you. Feel weary not. Weary not. we completely understand. So there's some things that we kind of think, actually, this is essential. This is really important that we're doing this together. What are essentials? If we could say, if you're part of the Redeemer planting team, and we're going to talk about this even in the coming weeks and months, but if you're consider yourself, I'm planting Redeemer, I'm part of the Redeemer plants team. What are essentials? Okay, so I'm hoping this is obvious. Sunday morning, be there. We want to be there together. And sometimes people working shifts, they can't make it at 10 a.m. on a Sunday. Everyone else, be there 10 a.m. Together, and then if you can, church before church, great, 9:30 with your planting group. Essential. Yeah. So Sunday gathering, 10 a.m. number Sunday. Planting group, essential. Yeah, really essential. So if you're watching this and you're not in one of those, it's vital. If we'd be saying this if we weren't in lockdown, but for sure, triply because we're in lockdown, it's essential. So if you're watching this, you're not in a group, get in touch with us on the website, Hello Redeemer. Get in touch, say I'd love to be in a planting group, how can I connect if you're not sure how to do that? And if you know people that would say that they're in some way connected to Redeemer, even if it's loose, even if they're just trying to check us out, but they're not in a planting group, encourage them, get them to contact us.
And we've had our first person say, someone not part of Redeemer,
first couple, right?
First couple,
yeah,
and they've joined a planting group. They've checked us out online. They kind of know a few people from the past. They're in a planting group. They're getting connected in. Yeah. So we want loads more of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I guess the reading plan. So there's essentials, Sunday and groups essentials, but near third, we'd love you to engage with the reading plan. This is because we want to establish a new normal, new rhythms. And so that is just a great place to start. It's easy, half chapter of Acts a day, not much time, but it will build something into you, and it will take us in the same place.
Be reading that together with your group, when you're chatting with friends over the week. It's just really good to be reading that together.
And then everything else is really important, and a lot of it is essential.
This obviously, come on.
What
else would you want to do on a Monday night?
What else would you want to do?
Come on.
I mean, seriously though, this is where the format we're going to communicate a lot about what we're thinking, what's going on.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what's going on with Redeemer, this is the best place to engage with them. And we're not doing any of this on a Sunday mornings for the reasons we said earlier, deep and wide. So we're really this. But the worship stuff that we're going to be starting, prayer, the digging deeper Bible study, Leviticus at the moment, whatever else. These are really important, really great. If you're able to engage with them, we would love you to. We'd really encourage you to.
Yeah.
But you've got to be discerning yourself as to what do I need to give my time to? What is going to help me engage with God? What is going to take me forward in my walk with Jesus? You might think I'm going to engage with everything. You might think I'm going to do the essentials and I'm going to pick one thing. That's great. You've got to make those decisions for yourself, and we're trying to provide lots of avenues for you to be able to engage with God, develop your relationship with Jesus, and become a better witness to our town and our culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is great. Okay, is there anything else we want to say before we tune out? Just to quickly touch on something that we mentioned last week, the relief fund that we started. So that was both to stand with dear friends in Dubai, particularly Fuzi, who's overseeing us as a church, also some friends in South Africa, maybe some other places, as well as the need that's going on in our own town and even in our own church. We've set up a relief fund. We would love you to consider giving money to that. You can do that through our website, redeemer.co.uk/give. Just click the drop-down menu, click on Relief Fund. Make sure, unless you want to set up a regular thing, make sure it's a one-off gift. And that's going to go to really bless people, because we want to, even as we start, we want to be a church that thinks about our town, thinks about the nations. That's all in Acts, right? We are witnesses to Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, the ends of the earth. We want to be a channel, the blessing, the stuff that God's given us. And sometimes that includes finances. So love you to give to that.
Yeah. We've all got stuff going on, mate. We've got stuff in our own lives financially. Yeah. We've got the Gilbourne Centre. We need money for that. But we do want us to be in the DNA of who we are as Redeemer. And so if you can give, we'd love you to give to that.
Yeah. And I think that's it. So what have we got coming up? We've kind of covered it really.
Okay, so your planning groups, you should be getting your reading plan for this week.
Yep.
Get on Instagram, Facebook to see. I can't remember whose faces we're going to see this week.
Yeah.
Talking about them, but
we had an interesting one today. I hope you saw that. We did it as a family. So
and then digging deeper.
Be kind.
Digging deeper Thursday morning.
Yep.
Fridays 7:30 till 8 prayer time.
Sunday 10 a.m. Everyone invites somebody.
Come
on,
one.
We can do it. Everyone. I'm going to
text your friends, talk to your friends. Just take that small step.
Yeah.
And let's see where God takes us.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Just imagine if everyone invites someone. Think of all the people who you're friends with on Facebook or who follow you on Instagram. All the people who can obviously want to have more intentional conversations. But if you even just start with that, all the people.
Start with that. Just think of it, leveraging your influence. Okay. You can do that. You can invite. I'd encourage you. Everyone invites someone is a personal invite. Okay, that's you. That might be on social media, or it might be text or whatever, calling someone. but it's you engaging with a person to invite someone. I'd encourage you to do that. That's what we mean by that.
Yeah.
But just by sharing our stuff on your social media, your 100 friends, your couple hundred friends, however many you've got, even your 10 friends, suddenly your 10 friends are seeing what we're doing. So imagine everyone told 10 friends about what we were doing. We'd go from, what did we start with? Like a couple of hundred people saying I'm planting Redeemer. We'd hit 2,000 people if we only had 10 friends. Some of us have got 100, 200 plus friends. So the impact could be enormous. So I just think in terms of wanting to see people come to know Jesus, if we can take that step of being happy to be public about our faith and following Jesus on a public platform, leverage your influence.
Yeah. Thank you for being with us.
That's us.
Monday night, whatever you've got planned for the rest of the evening, have a good one.
Great to see you. Thanks so much. See you later in the week. See you next week for the next Leadership Lean-In.
Bye.
Ta-ra.